TBISE, the best in sports entertainment. We're here live in Partners USA. TNS Media Group is a team and the family. Let's get to this. Let's get to this boxing world. The boxing world, we had a good fight yesterday, man. June 27th at the Barclays Arena. You had Jaron Boots Ennis, who was, taking on Zayas. He beat Zayas in a 12-round fight that ended early. There was some turbulence for Boots in the third round. Let's start about the first round. First round, Boots came out strong. Zayas came out and he was, trying to fill Boots out, not on duty. But Boots ended up dropping him in the first round. Then Boots ended up getting hurt in the third. And people were saying that Boots didn't look too good. But then Boots ended up closing the show with the knockout, stopping Zayas. Zayas took one knee, looked over to his corner, and basically was saying that he had enough. This fight for me with Jaron Boots Ennis, I say it all the time with Jaron Boots Ennis. Jaron Boots Ennis does take too many shots. I don't know if this is by design or if this is something that Boots just likes to do to kind of make himself, just stay in the fight. But I think it's very, very dangerous. As you can see, Zayas hurt Boots in the third round, and people thought that Zayas probably could have, stopped Boots at that time. I just think Boots, like I said before, I've been saying this all the time, I think Boots takes too much punishment. Now, he did get the win, so we can't take too much from that. He did get the win. He did show that he was a much stronger fighter than Zayas. Did show that he had superior skills to Zayas. Did show that he was, just on a mission. Now he's a two-time champion in two different weight classes. He's, moved up to 154. I just think that Boots for me, I would be kind of concerned in there versus, Fundora. That's the only fighter I think that I probably will be a little concerned because Fundora throws a lot of punches. He's kind of tall, kind of lanky as far as his stature and his arm length, which could possibly give Boots a lot of trouble if he goes up against Fundora. Fundora is a person who does get hit as well. He was knocked out cold, flat, couldn't get up. But he has bounced back and now he's a champion again. That's the only fight that I feel like Boots should probably stay away from right now. But he's right here in the mix. He has two belts now. So now Fundora, who's with Al Heyman and the guys over there at PBC, this is a fight that they could make. But that's the only person I see him really, if he keeps getting hit, that will probably be the fight that I think that he can get hurt in that fight. And of course, we all know Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is retired. I did hear Boots say, I don't want to talk about a retired fighter. But for me, looking at this fight versus Zayas, for Jaron Boots Ennis, if he fights Terrence Crawford with Terrence Crawford's pedigree, Terrence Crawford's skill, Terrence Crawford's experience, Terrence Crawford's ability to switch hit, make adjustments, all these different things that Terrence Crawford brings to the table, I don't know if Boots can beat Terrence Crawford right now. Boots hasn't fought the level of competition that Terrence Crawford has fought. He doesn't have the experience. Yes, he does have over 30 fights, but these fights haven't been against, A-level competition. So for me, I would be if I was Eddie Hearn, if I was, Bozy, if I was Everett and the guys over there, I would take my time in getting Boots in position to fight Terrence Crawford if that fight was ever to come to fruition. Is it going to happen? I don't know because Terrence Crawford is right now retired. But all these other guys, Boots can beat him. Like I said, Fundora, I would be just a little concerned about Fundora. But anybody at 154, you name it. Errol Spence, Fundora, Tim Tszyu, all these guys, you name them at 154 pounds, Jaron Boots Ennis will definitely stop them guys or beat them guys convincingly, not on duty. I just think that Terrence Crawford will probably be the only one that I would probably wait till he kind of, Virgil Ortiz gets rid of Virgil Ortiz, fights Fundora, Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence. If he could I know Spence has been off for a while, so Spence is not like a notable. He has a name, but he hasn't been the same. We don't know how he's gonna come back versus Tim Tszyu, but all the other guys at 154 pounds, I would go with Boots. I just would be a little concerned about Fundora, but I think if Boots can kind of change his game plan and not get hit as much and not get caught on the end of those long arms, I think Boots can probably, win that fight as well. But that's the fight that I only would say that I would be kind of scared. Well, I don't want to use the word scared. I would have a little bit of concern. Now, like I said, Terrence Crawford is retired. Terrence Crawford now has, been out of boxing since, I believe, September of last year. Coming off the victory over Canelo Alvarez, in which Jaron Boots Ennis did get Canelo ready for Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford basically, washed Canelo, which we all thought was going to be possible. We all knew that Terrence had the ability to do it, but we didn't think he would do it in that fashion. So you get Terrence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis. Like I said, this is the only fight for Jaron Boots Ennis that I don't think that he's ready for just as of yet. I think we got to let him clear that 154-pound division out. Let him clear that division out. Let him get some notable wins, get some formidable opponents under his belt, which he hasn't really fought anybody. Let's keep it real. He hasn't really fought anybody as of yet. I think Zayas probably was his toughest opponent so far. Or thought this guy, but Zayas is young, 23 years old. So he hasn't really fought nobody yet that you say kind of can test Boots. You know what I mean? Or test Boots in like a A-level opponent. Are there very many out there? But I will let him fight Virgil Ortiz, Fundora, and get them guys, get that experience. Those guys are the best, the creme of the 154-pound division. Let him get them guys out of there, and then we can say he can have a chance with Crawford. Maybe has the experience, but right now I just think he gets hit too much. I think he needs to work on his defense. He just gets hit too much. As you can see, he got hit versus Zayas, so Zayas hit him, and Boots was stumbling. I even saw the jab hit Boots and snapped his head back, not on duty. You know what I'm saying? Snapped his, so for me, seeing that, I would hate for Boots to get in trouble versus Terrence Crawford like that. I would hate to see him get hurt like that versus Terrence Crawford. Now we can say Terrence is a little old. Boots probably can hurt him. Boots has the skill. Boots is a skilled fighter. Because we can always look at the point of where a boxer is hurt or shows vulnerability. But that same fighter may be able to dish out that same punishment and cause Terrence Crawford to look vulnerable or hurt. Because we have seen Terrence Crawford hurt. Let's keep it real. We have seen Terrence Crawford hurt. Let's keep it real. We did see Terrence get hurt. They didn't call it a knockdown, but he was hurt. I forget what the fight was against. They called it a slip, but he was hit. He was hit with a good shot on his chin, and he went down. Anybody can be hurt in the sport of boxing. It's boxing. Anybody can be hurt. But you look at the skill level of both of these fighters. You put them in the ring. You say they're very similar in their skills. Switch hitters, strong, same height. Basically, just that Terrence Crawford has more years and more experience than Jaron Boots Ennis, and especially in big-time fights. But Boots is moving his way up the rankings. This is the only reason why I would say that Boots is not really ready for Terrence Crawford right now, because he hasn't had enough experience at the top level as of yet. But Terrence Crawford doesn't want to wait 2 years, 3 years, and be out of boxing to come back and fight this young guy, because Boots is only going to get better. And then once that happens, now the needle as far as, or the actual odds makers are going to kind of go more towards Boots, because Terrence was going to continue to get older. He's going to be out of the ring for so long, and Boots is going to continue to fight competition. They're getting better and better and better. And then with that, now the odds makers may want to probably put Boots as the favorite. And Terrence is getting old. You're not getting any younger. So Terrence Crawford, if you want to get in the ring and fight Jaron Boots Ennis, you better do it now. You better fight Boots now while he's young and try to give him that first L. Because if you wait 2 to 3 years and he fights all these guys and become victorious, what's going to happen is he's going to get more confident. He's going to get better in the ring. He's going to, get more money. He's going to, be more confident in himself. He's going to, he's going to get stronger. All these different things are going to happen for Boots. As we know, as you get older, your body starts to deteriorate. You get older, but that doesn't mean that Terence Crawford can't stop Boots. But it will be very difficult for Terence Crawford to beat Boots in 2 years. In 2 years, it will be very difficult for him. The fight would not be the same. Boots would have fought at least Virgil Ortiz and maybe another champion, maybe Fundora, one of those guys, in the next 2 years. He would have at least 2 fights against those guys. Not saying they are better than Terence Crawford or on Terence Crawford level, but he would have the opportunity to fight any of those guys, and the 154-pound division should be cleaned up by Jaron Boots Ennis over the next 2 years. So Terence, if you're going to fight Boots, you better do it now. You better set it for September of this year somewhere, or you better make that call and do it now. Do not wait, because if you wait, you may be surprised. All right. So you heard it here first. It's TBISE, the best in sports entertainment.